helped save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood safe, and a whole lot more. Your taxes help Zambia become better for you and me. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Hello, thank you for joining us again on Tax Chat. My name is Alice Nungu. Zambia Revenue Authority wishes to bring to the attention of the public about some of the highlights under property transfer tax. To help us look at this, in studio with me is Edwin Walia, a tax consultant from Zambia Revenue Authority. Mr. Walia, good to have you on Tax Chat.
Thank you, Alice. Good morning. And good morning to our dear listeners and viewers today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Today we are looking at property transfer tax. Can you explain to us what is a property transfer tax?
Okay, thank you for that question, Alice. So basically, in layman's language, property transfer is simply a tax that is charged on property that is being transferred to another individual. I'll give an example, Alice. If you intend to sell off a piece of land or a house, so upon transferring that property to the other person, you are supposed to remit a certain component of tax to ZRA, which I will further elaborate as we go on with our session today. And just to give more clarity on properties, I know maybe property, the fridge or the TV, but in this case, property is in line with mining rights. Could be land, it could be shares, it could be intellectual property, which is which includes copyrights and patents and trademarks.
Okay. Government has revised the property transfer tax rate. What are the current application rates of property transfer tax?
Okay. To the viewers today that have joined us, I think you might be aware that as of last year, through the Minister of Finance and National Planning, the budget was announced, and it came with it some budget changes. And with this, there was an amendment when it comes to property transfer tax. So for shares, for land, and for mining, there has been some changes in regards to the rate that is being charged on those properties. So for land, shares, and intellectual property, it has been revised to 8% from 5%. Then for mining, it's at 10%. So those are the rates applicable to property transfer tax.
Okay. None of them are responsible for paying property transfer tax.
Mnoga mani zinakambira wadisi ngati mfuna kugulisa nyumba imwe ndimwe basera. So there are two parties involved. There's a seller and the buyer. So if you're the one selling the property, you're the seller. If I'm the one buying, I'm the buyer. So the one who's responsible to pay the property transfer tax is you, the seller in this case. Okay, so the payment for that particular tax is supposed to be done by the seller. Yeah.
Okay. And how is the property transfer tax calculated?
Okay, so for the property transfer tax computation, it's basically computed on the market value. Okay, so there are two values here. There's a market value and the actual price. So like the example I gave, you are selling a property. So we have this actual price that you have under the contract of sale. So once you present that contract of sale to us, we'll look at the value. Then we'll also look at the value that is on the market. So our basis of computation for the property transfer tax is based on the market value. Yes.
Okay. What happens when I transfer property to a member of my immediate family?
Okay, so before I respond to that question, I want to make clarity on what it means by immediate family. Immediate family, it's not just any other individual. Muzanu or uncles or my cousins, no. So there's a category that we've put in place for those that can be classified as immediate family. So we have 1, the spouse, we have 2, the children, we have 3 if we have any stepchild, 2 children, and 4 if you have any duly adopted children. So those are the people that are categorized as immediate family. Yes. So for such individuals, the computation of tax is based on the actual price, if any is paid, and not the market value. Yeah.
So it just has to do with spouses and children. It doesn't extend to maybe a sister, a brother.
Exactly. It's just you, for instance, if you have your biological children, if you have an adopted child, if you have a stepchild, that can be extended to those. Aside those, you can't. That doesn't apply to any cousins, any your siblings. No, it doesn't apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
In case you're just joining us, you are watching Tax Chat, and today we are looking at property transfer tax. For now, we go on a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You can't leave me behind like this. You move me no. You don't realize that by taking your receipt, you are ensuring a fair playing field for businesses and their tax obligations. Take me with you,
By ensuring we receive a receipt every time we make a purchase, we're ensuring that businesses honor their tax obligations.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm Keken.
Oh, Wesindina, I'm Keken.
I'm Keken, it's now your choke, I'm a teacher's newspaper.
Oh, Baba Sanga newspaper. Ilipo zina. Oh, Mlungu wanga ine.
The taxes we pay not only go to improve the lives of others, but our lives as well. Because whatever we put into the world comes right back to us. Do the right thing, pay your taxes, and watch them work for you.
Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.
Tired of long queues and endless paperwork? We are too. Pay your taxes using e-payment. Zambia Revenue Authority, working to serve you efficiently.
Welcome back. You're watching Tax Chat. Today we are looking at a property transfer tax. With me is Mr. Edwin Walia from Zambia Revenue Authority, who is helping us look at this topic. And Mr. Walia, what documents are needed to file for the property transfer tax?
Okay, thank you, Alice. So for property transfer filing, you are required to present certain documents. So for instance, if it's land, if it's a building, you are required to have a valid tax clearance certificate. Okay, that was implemented this year with the coming in of the recent budget changes that was announced last year in September. So you need a tax clearance certificate for you to apply. You also need a TPN for the seller as well as the buyer. You also need the identification for both the buyer and the seller. And you also need, of course, the contract of sale. Lastly, but not the least, you also need a certificate of incorporation In that case, if the seller is an incorporated corporation. Yeah.
And that is for the transfer of the land?
That is for land, yeah.
And
so
transfer of shares?
And if it's transfer of shares, you also need a tax clearance certificate, similar to land. Then you also need a share of transfer form, 18. You also need a shareholders resolution. Then you also need a contract of sale. You need a certificate of share capital. You also need a certificate of share incorporation. Lastly but not the least, you also need a TPIN for both the buyer and the seller. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any legal exceptions to property transfer tax in Zambia?
Of course, Alice. So we have some exemptions to individuals or other organizations that are not subjected to PTT, property transfer tax. So some of the bodies or other organizations include local authorities, and also we have public benefit organizations, PBOs. We also have international organizations. We also have the government. Okay, so it's not subjected also to property transfer tax. And lastly but not the least, we also have any foreign countries that cannot be subjected to property transfer tax. Yeah.
What is the process of submitting a property transfer tax return?
Okay, so like I said in my preamble, it's the seller's obligation to file for the property transfer tax. Okay, so that is done online on our web portal. Okay, so once the return is filed, the taxpayer is now obligated to pay for that assessment that has been approved. So once the assessment is paid for, the tax clearance certificate for PTT is automatically sent to the taxpayer's email address that they registered with. So this is why it's very important for our taxpayers out there to ensure that they ensure that their demographic details are correct, to ensure that certificates such as the PTT are transferred to, or rather sent to, the correct email address.
Your concluding remarks, Mr. Bwalia, on property transfer tax.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you to our dear listeners out there. My encouragement and my appeal to you, the taxpayers out there, we understand that ZRA operates on open door policy, and we encourage our taxpayers to call us whenever they face any challenges or when they're in need of any tax matters. We are open through our toll-free line, which is 4111, and also through our website. They can also email us on our official email address, which is advice with a C at zra.org.zm, or they can simply visit our nearest service center, depending on your location. Otherwise, thank you for joining us today, and I hope you learned something from today's session.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bwalia. It's been a pleasure having you on Tax Chat.
Thank you, Alice.
Okay. We've come to the end of the show. I believe you've learned one or two things about transfer property tax. From us, it's bye-bye. Remember, it's my tax, your tax, our destiny.
Today, you probably helped save a life. Or perhaps helped keep a watchful eye on a neighborhood. Today, you probably helped put food on someone's table. Or help build a road that leads to a destiny. You may have even helped shape the minds of our future. By paying your taxes, you help keep critical medical staff in a job, a school to run, or a neighborhood safe, and a whole lot more. Your taxes help Zambia become better for you and me. Zambia Revenue Authority. My tax, your tax, our destiny.